You solved the money problem. Congratulations. But one thing you're going to learn about entrepreneurship is every problem you solve creates a new problem.
Coming up on the Melanin Money Show.
Number one, you got a time problem. You're making $150,000, but you don't have any time to enjoy it. Number two, you got a tax problem. These are good problems to have, but now you need them solved.
If you're not making at least $100,000 a year, right, you don't have a tax problem. You don't have a investment problem. You have a cash flow problem, right? You're gonna start to make some money, 6 figures to be exact, and you're gonna feel good because that's the goal you've heard everybody talk about, 6 figures, and you're gonna feel like, okay, well, I'm making this money, but man, I'm stressed in. Like now I'm the graphic designer, I'm doing this, I'm trying to teach the classes, I'm trying to create the ebook, like I need some help. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show. And you already know the vibes. Carter, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, looking better. You know what I'm saying?
I knew you was gonna say that shit. I knew you was gonna say that shit.
I'm getting.
As soon as I saw that
ready.
sunlight beaming off your big forehead, I knew that's what was coming.
Hey,
Anyway.
hey, no. Hey, no, but we was actually joking around before we started shooting, saying like, yo, like if one of us was insecure, this partnership would not work. Like,
It would not work.
Real talk. Because I never forget the day you told me you never saw a mirror that you didn't like. And I was like, okay, that's me.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Hey, listen, self-awareness is a key attribute in life. You know what I'm saying? I recommend that everybody get you some. All right, so before we get started, y'all, we're going to talk about just some things we've been seeing on the internet, right? We know y'all see it, so we might as well talk about it. Yeah. Just some of it funny, some of it current events, just kind of get y'all's opinion on it and us weighing in on ours. So the first one is Americans must earn $114,000 a year to afford the typical home in America. Wow. Now, why is that problematic? Because as you know, wages never keep pace with cost of living. And right now, due to the current interest rate environment, it has exacerbated an already really, really stressed situation. So if the average person has to earn $114,000 just to get a house, but the median income in the United States is $50,000 to $55,000, I mean, if homeownership was a goal,
if home ownership was an American dream,
then
so
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the math, as what do they say? What the cool kids saying now? Not the math ain't math, and it's a new one. It's like girl math, boy math. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is Biden math. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is, but it ain't adding up. So what are y'all thoughts on this? Right? But here's the, you know, we always like to give y'all not just problems but solutions. Here's where my head goes, right? Where my head goes is at the same time that this is happening, right? It was also announced that you can now buy multifamily properties for 5% down. Did you hear that one?
I did not hear that. But that's where I was going. I was going there regardless, but I didn't know about that. No.
Yeah. So now you can buy multifamily properties for 5% down. So instead of looking at this like, man, I can't buy my single family home, or it'd be hard for me to buy my single family home for 5% down. Now I'm going to almost be forced into being a smart investor because that's what's going to make more sense, right? Mm-hmm. Which you should have been doing anyway, right? That's going to force you into being an investor, because here's a good thing about how that works. If you find, I have people looking at properties for me right now. Matter of fact, Carl, I'm going to talk to you offline. I found some deals in the area that we was talking about.
Okay.
Like some deals, like fourplexes, less than $1 million. Yeah.
Okay. How much? Boy. Okay.
Yeah. So, but one of the ones that I found was already occupied, right? So when you go to the bank, it's like, oh, like you already got a rent roll, right? So like in terms of like getting financing, when they're going to credit that projected revenue right to your DTI. Mm-hmm. So now you're able to get on the right side of the equation, so the real American dream can happen for you. You don't have to live an American nightmare.
That's a bar. And I think, again, like, you could either be a victim of a situation or take advantage of a situation, right? And this might be one of those situations that help Americans realize what they should have been doing a long time ago, right? And it's funny you say that, because me and you both are in the process of purchasing an investment property, right? And when I was on the phone with my mortgage lender, he was like, yeah, like if you say this, because I'm buying a multi-family, he's like, yeah, if you say that you're going to live in at least one of the units, you can get it for 5 to 10% down, even though the loan is over $1 million. And I was like, really? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like now I get what you mean by they're offering 5% down for multifamily owners. And what this means, guys, is that you can literally put 5% down on the same house that you was gonna put. You can put 5% down on a multifamily, the same way you put 5% down on a single family home. You rent out one of the units in a multifamily, and that rent pays the mortgage. And now you went from having to pay a mortgage to living for free on accident because you couldn't afford a single family home in the first place.
Big facts. Big facts. Like at some point, like I feel like we got to wake up, right? Like people just be going through the motions, right? Going through the motions, going to the job, getting the paycheck, paying the bills, doing all over again. I saw this, matter of fact, oh my God, I sent it to our social media manager. I gotta find this one for y'all. It was hilarious. It said, I think she actually posted it. It said, yo, this show was hilarious. It said, payday be the best 10 minutes of the week for real. Because as soon as that paycheck hit, right, them bills is at your door. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, somebody said my budget is as tight as Drewski's shirt. Like,
I saw that one too. But yeah, y'all, again, and while we're being lighthearted about it, while we're joking about it, like the whole reason why we do this content, the whole reason why we have the business that we have is because we want you guys to have freedom, right? And freedom in this sense, in the sense that if you're not producing the money, guess who is? Your investments. If your investments are producing the money, guess who doesn't have to work, right? Now, here's the thing. You can love what you do and make a lot of money doing it, but this is such a refreshing feeling to know that if I don't make money from that, my lifestyle isn't going to go away, right? I still have enough money to cover my basic lifestyle needs. I can eat good. I can live good. I can travel. I can take care of who I need to take care of. That's a really refreshing feeling because here's the thing. The way that Maslow's hierarchy of needs works, your brain is going to be so clear that you're actually going to make more money when you get yourself in that position. That's the wild part. You need the same way everybody who can get all the capital in the world don't need the capital. It's the same thing, right? It's like you got to put yourself in a position where you don't need it. The moment you stop needing it is when you'll get it, right?
Absolutely.
The person who has the best leverage in a negotiation is the one who actually can walk away, right? So like put yourself in a position with your job. You might not. So here's the thing with your job, if you decide to keep it, cool, whatever. But like being in a position where you know you can walk away and you don't have to be there is just a much different position than knowing like, damn, bro, another day at the office. You know what I'm saying?
You walk different, you talk different, you perform different. Cause like worst come to worst, if you talk to me crazy up in here, I'm out.
I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And they try to stop you, say, nah, bro, take the L out of lover. It's over, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's over. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Dude. Man, shout out to please tell me you saw that clip. I got to see if you ain't seen it to Adrian. I would love to take credit for that. But Adrian Broner, the boxer.
Yeah.
You see that, bro? That dude.
No, send me that. Send me that.
He said, take the L out of love. It's over, brother. All right, so let's get into some other funny stuff before we get into the episode. Now, is this Uber driver, Uber Eats or Uber delivery, I guess is she wrong? She refused to hand over $400 worth of groceries once she revealed the customer was not planning to leave her a tip. So let me paint this picture for you, right? Somebody pulled up at your house, you just ordered the groceries, you see the groceries, and she's not willing to give you the groceries because she's checking the app like, hold on, Turbo, like, I don't see no tip coming through. And then when she asked you about it, you said, nah, yeah, I ain't giving you, I wasn't planning on giving you one. Is she wrong for withholding the groceries that you paid for?
Yeah, she's wrong for withholding the groceries. Like when you took that job, it said tips are required. You know, tips are based off of the customer and how you serve the customer. That's like you've been at a restaurant and the waitress is like, you ordered the chicken, right? Okay, sir, I'm gonna need you to sign this tip statement before I give you your plate. Like, you can't do that. Like, a tip is based off service. So, I mean, what you gonna do? Keep my groceries? Like, and then like you gonna lose your job. So, like, no, it's not. Yeah, that's not okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay at all, right? Because here's the thing: America is messed up anyway in this sense, right? And Carter, you're gonna love this because you're the tax guru, right? But like, in what world do you employ somebody, pay them $2.50 an hour, right? Pass the sales tax on to the customer, right? And you're the business, and then expect the customer to tip your employee so they can maybe make a livable wage.
Yeah.
That is
and
insane.
Then the employee has to pay the taxes on the tip, not the employer. Because the employee has to recognize the taxes on their 1040, the tips on their 1040, right. And they're responsible for the taxes on their tip.
Crazy, right? So now you're looking at the customer, right? Like we're the employer. Yeah. Like, where's my? If I only make $2.50 an hour. What now? Let me say this because I know somebody gonna clip this up somewhere. I'm cool with that, right? Let me say this: I'm a good tipper. If you provide good service, I'm a great tipper, right? On the right day, I might change your whole week. Okay, but the principle is this: the principle is that two things. Number one, the employee, despite the fact that I think the employer should be paying them better, the employee had a decision and a choice to sign up for that job. Some people are going to say, "Oh, they didn't have a choice," and blah. Like, cry me a river, right? Everyone has a choice. I know that there's circumstances, and I can respect that, I can appreciate that, but on a fundamental level, the employee had a choice to sign up for that job, right? So, at the end of the day, if she runs into a customer who's not as generous as Carter and I, and not going to give you that great tip, it's never okay to withhold something that somebody paid for. What they paid for was the meal. What they paid for was the groceries, right? The tip is if I'm feeling froggy, right? Or if you provide exceptional service, I have the option to tip. Now, I am one of the people that will do it. So don't try to put me in a box and cancel me on Melanin Money founders. They don't tip nobody. Yeah. They must be broke. Broke boy behavior.
Broke boy,
right? If you broke, just say that. If you broke, just say that. Not you being broke and the host of a money show. All right, none of that. Okay. Listen, we're just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? And I know how they be talking.
Hey, he said
just keeping it real, y'all.
Not this broke boy behavior on this Sunday. Oh man. Hey, no, but look, like, and it's crazy because America, which I just learned this maybe 4 or 5 years ago, is one of the only countries that has this tip pressure on their citizens. Like literally, bro, I was in, what was I? I was in Rome. I was in
Europe?
Rome. Like,
yeah, I know. I said I know how somebody somewhere in Europe because they don't want you to eat.
Bro, I was in Rome feeling froggy. You know, I'm happy to be there. It's my first day there. You know what I'm saying? Me and my homie ordered some food, some breakfast, something light. I tipped her like 10 euros, bro. When I say shorty came back to the table and looked at me like I was trying to buy her body, bro, she was like, "Sir, this is like what are you doing?" Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yo, this is for you." She was like, "No, like we don't do that here." Like, she felt disrespected. I was like, "My bad." Like, you know what I'm saying? But they don't do that.
They don't do that. America is strict everybody.
Yeah. It's getting so
there's one thing America's good at. Well, go ahead.
It's gotten so bad to the point where, like, you will go to a coffee store and order your coffee at the desk, at the kiosk. Like, order the coffee there, you swipe your card, they turn around the iPad with not just do you want a tip, but the default is already at 10%. So you gotta go out your way.
Default be at 18%. It don't be at the lowest one. You gotta go back. You gotta go, hold on.
You gotta scroll to the next screen.
You gotta go back. Nah, it don't be at 10%. It be at 18.
That's
off
sick.
The rip.
Like,
so
do I tip you?
I'm watching you do the bro. Okay.
And then
again, here's the thing. I get it, right? Guilty. The offer you don't make is the offer they can't take. I understand. I understand y'all not, inflation is high. Everybody trying to get it, but like, only thing we're saying is this: we gotta agree that it's optional.
Yeah.
Right. And under no circumstances is it okay to withhold something that someone paid for, right? Because they didn't give you what you want. That should be for you. That should be your inclination that I shouldn't be doing this, right? What have y'all heard me say 1,000 times on this podcast? Or if you're my friend, what did I do to allow that person to think that was okay, right? I gotta question myself. It's something that I did, right? I need to reflect. So we just wanted to touch on that because I'm tired of y'all flipping around the iPad and y'all ain't providing nothing to me.
Bro, like I watched you make the coffee. You didn't bring it to me. I've been standing up at the desk this whole time. And I'm supposed to tip you for like doing your job. And they are paid minimum wage. So like, this ain't the waiter thing. They ain't paid half, like, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, the sickest work, bro, and this is the last thing we'll say on this, the sickest work is being in Miami. When they add the 20% gratuity already, and then they still give you the option to provide a tip. Why is that even on the paper?
Y'all wildin'.
Yeah.
Y'all wildin'.
Yeah.
Y'all wildin'. Okay, last current event before we get into it. So Jay-Z finally weighed in on
This is good.
The $500, $500K, right? Should you take the $500K or the dinner with Jay-Z? And he emphatically said, well, why take the money? Like all the answers in the music, right? Take the money. He said, no, do take a little bit of that 500 and go buy the albums if you ain't got them.
Go buy all the albums. Yeah.
Well, but like he's like, that's a bad deal. Like he told y'all that's a bad. He says, I wouldn't tell you to take that. That's a bad deal. So we can put it to rest. Jay-Z told y'all to take the money. So for all of y'all, nah, bro. Like I ain't taking the money, the gems and the wisdom. Jay-Z gonna be across from you cutting that steak. So you ain't take the 500? That's crazy. What you think about Blueprint though? What you think about Blueprint 1 though? That shit was fire, right? Dog. So Jay-Z put it to rest. Take the money, right? Even it was a hypothetical scenario anyway, but everybody had their think pieces on it. Why they wouldn't take the money? Who would take the money? Jay-Z himself told y'all, go get that bread.
Why would you pay me? That's a bad deal.
It's a bad deal. It's all the music.
Here's what I would say. Here's my opinion on it, right? He has a point to a T, right? And it goes back to when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Most people aren't in a position to take action on the gems that he would be able to provide in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So for most people, taking the 500,000 would be the best deal because they're not in a position to execute on the information anyway. And those people probably have more time than money, so they can afford to buy all the albums and spend a week dissecting each album and taking notes on their game plan. Me personally, I would take a conversation because I don't have time to go through all the albums to get the gems when I can just sit across from him and have a conversation. Because Rick Ross weighed in on it. And he said that one dinner with Jay-Z made him multiple millions of dollars because he gave him one play, but Rick Ross was able to execute on it.
Fact. So you gotta be in position, right? So, but I thought that was funny. And I'm glad he finally decided to weigh into it. All right. So let's get into today's topic, right? Everybody talks about becoming an entrepreneur, but no one talks about the different phases in the evolution of being an entrepreneur, what that journey looks like, right? And so for those of y'all who don't know, we talked about it a little bit. We do have a platform called the Melanin Millionaires Club. Your first introduction to it might have been our membership that you can subscribe to right now if you go to melaninmoney.com/join. However, not many people know that we have a whole financial educational ecosystem. Literally, you can go from being a freshman to a senior by going through our program. So we want to talk about the 4 stages of entrepreneurship because effectively that is what we teach and what we guide and what we coach and what we advise on inside of our program. So we thought it'd be cool to give y'all that game and also give you a little insight to what happens behind the scenes inside of the Melanin Millionaires Club and all of our different tiers. All right.
Yep.
So let's get into it. So the first thing you got to do in entrepreneurship is you just got to start, right? You don't got to get fancy. I don't even care if you have a website yet. Like you have to start, right? Everybody, wants to get the pretty website. At one point, it was the business cards. It was all the things that don't matter. But what matters is you got to figure out how to start making some money, right? You might not even know the exact ideal customer. You're not niching down yet, probably. You just need to go out there and sell something to someone. Because here's the truth. At our core, the Melanin Millionaires Club is a wealth building platform. Our goal is to help 100,000 people of color achieve their first 1 million in net worth. But here's a little secret that we learned along the way. If you can only afford to invest $100 to $400 a month, then your first investment should be yourself, right? And you should figure out how I can become a person of value to the world and ultimately start to sell something.
Hey, Aren't you tired of buying courses in those emotional states when you want to get a result, but then you actually don't do anything with the course? Do you know on average the completion rate for a course is about 2%? But here's the thing, it's not entirely your fault. The problem is you buy the course, but you don't have access to the source who actually created it.
See, that's why we're doing something different. With the Millionaire Millionaire Club, you're not just going to get access to courses. You'll get access to the people who created it so you can get your questions answered. Because it's not just about learning, it's about taking that information so you can start earning. So the Millionaire Millionaire Club is going to give you access to courses, but not just that. It's an entire university of information. We have financial flicks. We have hundreds of previous recordings. But more than that, y'all, we have an amazing community of people just like you who are trying to become a first-generation millionaire. So like GA said, like, you can survive without community, but you can't thrive without community. So this is the place you need to be, right?
100%, because here's the thing. If it was just about information, we'd all be billionaires with six packs. So that's why every single Monday, we're going to set the tone for your week with Melanin Millionaire Mondays, where our entire community is going to meet up. The energy is going to be high. We're going to set the intention for what we're going to execute on so we can move the needle forward, and Carter and I and the rest of our team can keep you accountable.
So that's enough information. You see the rest in the club. All you got to do, click the link below, sign up, and start your journey to your first millionaire year. Let's get it.
Let's go.
So in our membership tier of our Melanin Millionaires Club, that is what we focus on. We have calls every Monday to make sure you have the right mindset up. So let me back up. Ahead of the money, right? Because you got to make the money, but if you don't become the right person, if you don't have the right identity, then you're never going to make the money anyway, right? So that's the reason why every single Monday, rain, sleet, snow, right? We make sure that our club has a call called Millionaire Mondays. And the purpose of that call is to make sure that you can walk into the week with the right mindset, the right frame of mind, so that you can execute at a high level. Because no matter what game Carter gives you, George gives you, our other coaches give you, if you are not in the right headspace, it's not going to happen, right? So that's first, technically. From there, it's like, okay, I'm in this fixed income environment, i.e. my job. And in order for me to build wealth, the easiest thing to do is not go to Starbucks and tip that 18%.
Yeah.
It's to make more money. Because you have two levers, right? You have an infinite lever and you have a finite lever. The lowest you can go is zero, right? If someone says, how low can you cut your expenses to save and invest? Well, zero. That's the lowest you can go. But what quality of life are you going to have if you cut your expenses to zero? You're sleeping on mom's couch, bumming off somebody else, trying to get rides from everybody. But that's the lowest you can go. But making money is an infinite exercise, right? There's no cap on how much money you can make. So making sure that while thinking about the S&P 500, right? I think we've said it 3 times. We're going to stop crediting Alex. It's the last time, Alex. Right? It's the last time. You can start investing in the SME 500, right? And just learning, because Carter just said it. If you can afford to join the Melanin Millionaires Club, the membership tier, you have more time than you have money. Okay? You have more time than you have money. And so for that very reason, that's why we have created a learning library called Financial Flicks that allows you to do just that. It allows you to go through a self-guided, do-it-yourself pace to be able to learn what you need to learn so that you can earn what you need to earn. So I'll pause there to see if Carter wants to add something to that.
No, I think that's 1000% the case, right? Because first of all, you have to become the person that can do the thing to make money, right? Like if you don't get the identity part right, you can't even start to make money, because if you do, you won't even think that you deserve it. You'll spend it, you blow it, you won't have it for much longer. So getting that identity first is the main thing. And that's what the club is for, helping people understand how money works so they could be the person who can not just make the money, but also be the person that can keep the money, right? So that's like freshman year, right? Like you get on campus, you're in there, you just
you don't got a major yet. You just like, you know what I'm saying?
You're understanding how this college works, and like the big thing is learning how to learn, right? Like I now know how to start accumulating information, right? Like I know how to learn, I know how to take notes, I know how to review my notes, I know how to put these notes into action. Oh, it worked. I got a return on my investment. Let me run it back, right? So that's the freshman year of our ecosystem, is joining the club, getting the basic information. Now, hopefully every year, or maybe sooner than that, you should be ready to go to the next to go to the next grade, right? Because you don't want
to get held back, right? You don't want to get held back.
You don't want to be that 23-year-old freshman, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. So we want to create an environment where you can ascend and get to the next grade and get to the next level. In this particular situation, it's like, all right, now that you understand how money works, now that you learned the basics, now like we need to help you get those skills to become a high skill person to increase the income that you already have. Right? Because you can't cut down a budget for so long, but we want to teach you how to become a higher value person so you can take that income from, let's say, $40,000 a year, and we try to get you to that $100,000 a year.
Right. So for example, to put it in perspective, is like in the membership tier, you might go from side hustling, right? Because you figuring it out, right? Like you don't go in the freshman year like, I know I want to be a doctor, right? You try different things, right? So when you side hustle, it's like I'm gonna dabble in Turo, I'm gonna dabble in this, I'm gonna dabble in whatever, right? You're dabbling, but then when you're ready to graduate, okay, I think I know the area I want to lean into, right? And now you may be like, okay, now that I know what I want to lean into, and I picked a lane, now I can monetize my genius. I can start to monetize my genius and really become a person of value at a high level, right? And so as you go down that path, right, now you have to figure out like, okay, how do I make more money in this lane? How do I learn to charge my worth? How do I learn to package up my intellectual property? Because before, maybe like I got somebody to pay me to like do something, right? Like I coach them on whatever it might be. Hey, I have 2 Airbnbs. I did it successfully. I can show you how to launch your first one, right? That might be how you started. But now it's like, it's only so many hours in a day. Like if I do that, like I might not be in a position where I'm going to start to create a cage for myself, right? Because my calendar is going to be full. Everybody's going to want me to coach them on how to start their Airbnb or whatever your zone of genius is. So like, how can I make that more scalable and like package that up? Like maybe I create like a digital ebook. Maybe I create a course, right? I create a lever that doesn't require as much of my time, right? In order to make the money, right? So that is what you want to start developing in this tier. So we affectionately call this our mentorship level, right? So membership is the first one. Just get in the room, right? Membership has its privileges.
Yeah.
Right. Then the mentorship is levels. You got a few things figured out. You'll need some guidance from George, some guidance from Carter, some guidance from the team, some guidance from our advisors, because you moving in the right direction. Now you got to make some tweaks, right? To really monetize your genius so that you can have more money to then build wealth, so that you can start to have a little bit of a tax problem, which is a good thing, and leverage some of the strategies that Carter talks about every single Monday on his tax-free living show, right? So the thing is this, sometimes people focus on the wrong things. They're like, I saw Carter, I saw George, they mentioned they about to buy this investment property, do a cost segregation. Like, bro, sis, respectfully, okay? If you're not making at least $100,000 a year, right, you don't have a tax problem. You don't have a investment problem. You have a cash flow problem, right? You need money. Okay. Now, again, I know that's not as palatable as the Instagram influencer that's going to tell you invest $400 a month for 40 years and you'll retire. She is not wrong. He is. Let me say he too, so they don't think. I think George was talking about her because she said that last week. Whoever they are, okay, they're not wrong, but they're teaching you how to play not to lose, not how to play how to win, right? We want to teach you how to play how to win, right? And when you understand how to control your income and do it in a scalable way, it's going to get sweet for you, right? So those are some of the core tenets on the sophomore year or the mentorship level of our program and the second level of entrepreneurship. First, you start, you figure it out, then you grow. Right now you're growing, you're figuring some stuff out, right? You might maybe hired your first administrative person or VA, right? And now you think you're doing something, but here's what's going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Because me and Carter, we've been through these stages, so we can tell you before you get there, okay? What's going to happen is you're going to start to make some money, right? 6 figures to be exact. And you're going to feel good because that's the goal you've heard everybody talk about, 6 figures. And you're going to feel like, okay, well, I'm making this money, but man, I'm stressed in. Like now I'm the graphic designer. I'm doing this. I'm trying to teach the classes. I'm trying to create the ebook. Like I need some help. Yeah. What am I going to do? Right. I need a team. Right. And that is now when you need to start venturing into the scale version of your of your entrepreneurial endeavors, right? So you created the ebook. Maybe you have a high value service. You figured out how to charge your worth. So you were coaching one-to-one before, and you make good money. But it's just like you need some help and you need some time.
You got the money,
right?
you don't got the. Now you don't got the time. So you solved the money.
Now you don't got the time.
You solved the money problem. Congratulations. But one thing you're going to learn about entrepreneurship is every problem you solve creates a new problem, right?
Yep.
Every problem you solve in entrepreneurship creates a new problem. So you went from, wherever you started to now you had your first 6-figure year. You're making 100,000, 150,000. You just opened a few more problems now, right? Because you solved the money problem. Now you got a few more problems. Number one, you got a time problem. You're making $150,000, but you don't have any time to enjoy it. Number two,
no time.
You now welcome. You now walked into Uncle Sam's living room and realized, oh, you got a tax problem because
you're comfortable. Take your shoes off.
Take your shoes off. Take your shoes off, brother, because we're gonna need about 30 to 35% of that $150,000 that you're making. So now you got a tax problem, right? So at this point, this is where you have these are good problems to have, but now you need them solved. So this is where you want to look to the next ascension of your trajectory, which is quote unquote your junior year, or what we call our mastermind level, where we teach you 3 very important things: how to avoid taxes, which is absolutely key at this level, how to acquire assets, right? Because a part of solving your tax problem is investing. If you invest in retirement accounts, guess what? You're helping your tax problem. If you invest in assets like real estate, guess what? You're solving your tax problem, right? So you do these important things at this level to not only keep the money that you're making, help you make more money, but like also solve these tax and investing problems that you're going to have at this level.
Right. And also to, if you want to speed up that journey, show you how to acquire, get access to capital, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, man, okay. Now I got access to capital. I have a product or service that I believe in, right? I don't mind spending money on growing the business because I have a proven product, proven process, proven service, and now it's time to scale, right? So you get access to capital to do that, which is then going to create more margin in your business, which is going to give you more ability to invest, which then is going to help you avoid taxes, right? So that's a good time, right? You got some really good space in there, right? Now you can think about like, okay, well, I had a course and that was doing really well. I had like the ebook and that was doing really well. I packaged that up, but or maybe I even still had my service. Maybe you still had like you had your service first, and then you had like a couple of like digital products on the side. Be like, now it's like since I'm trying to get my time back, I wonder if I could turn that service into like more like a coaching program instead of one-to-one. Because I still want to like get paid for my time and get paid for my worth, but I don't want to do it one-to-one. Maybe I want to do it like one-to-many. Right? What would that look like? And now you're trying to build out like a coaching program. And spoiler alert, a coaching program is not passive. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
It is infinitely more scalable than a one-to-one service model, right? But it is not somebody ordered it online and I don't have to think about it. Okay. So I just want to share that so we're on the same page. So we're not like, well, George and Carter said I can build a coaching program and live on the beach all day and never have to do any work, right? Because here's the thing. We don't want to deter you from entrepreneurship. We want to prepare you. When I first became an entrepreneur, what was told to me? It was like, you could become your own boss. You can set your own hours. You can work from wherever you want. And guess what? All those things are true. I just wish they would have told me about the other ingredients in the recipe. You need all the ingredients, right? So I'm not saying don't add those, but just let me know so I can I know how to make the dish. So we just want to be transparent with you. There's nothing probably more profitable and more scalable than creating a high ticket coaching offer when you become world-class at something, right? Bar none. It's probably a really short list. But when you do, if you have the desire to do it right, operate into integrity, get your clients results, serve them in a meaningful way, it is not going to be passive. But it can be very effective if you build it the right way, if you have the team in place. When you join our coaching program, we have real certified advisors that are serving you on a regular basis. And those calls are lit.
Fire.
Right? Fire, right? It's not minty client money, George and Carter's pockets. It's not how it works, right? We have a real business, a real enterprise. We're taking our clients to Jamaica next month, right? In a couple of weeks. And I don't think you have to do the math, right? to figure out that that's not cheap, right? And there's not a lot of logistics behind. We have a whole team. We put like the payroll is
Payroll,
deep.
payrolling.
Okay.
Uh,
Right.
Yeah.
It's deep. So I say that to say, here's the benefit of that though. The benefit is that by joining a program like this, you get to see firsthand how it's done. You get the lesson without the scar, right? We get to be transparent about do this, no, don't do that. Like you're gonna have your own lessons. Hey, do it this way. You'll get there faster if you do this. And that is the cheat code to life. That is the cheat code to entrepreneurship, is learning from people who are actually doing what you want to do. Now, if you want to go buy a commercial building, I might not be your coach. Not gonna lie to you. If you want to have a Turo fleet of 100 cars, I might not be your guy. Carter might not be your guy, right? But if you want to build a scalable business, right, that's not exclusively tied to your time, avoid unnecessary taxes, and still build wealth independently of said business, there's nobody better. Not collectively. And I say that with a straight face. So we built this program to mirror and model the solving of the problems that we know you're going to have when you get there. We know that you're just starting out, you're excited, you want to learn everything, be everything to everybody, and then you're like, okay, now I want to do this one main thing, and I want to start making some money and get focused. Okay, boom, mentorship. We know that you're going to start making money, you're going to start making your first 6 figures or so, and you're going to have an admin, you're going to, create your first digital product or whatever, but now you have no time, and you have money, you have some tax problems, and now you need to create a scalable offer. Right? And so we literally model the program in that way so that we don't leave you hanging. Because here's what's going to happen. At one point in the past, you used to drive a Honda. Then you started making some more money, and you wanted a Mercedes, right? Then you start making some more money. What happens if Mercedes didn't have that upgrade? What happens if Mercedes didn't have that Maybach? What you gonna do? You got to go somewhere else, right? We don't want you to leave. We want you to take your shoes off.
Get comfortable in this ecosystem, brother. Come
Right?
on.
And stay a little while, right? So that we can serve you all the way through. Because truth be told, like, of course, that's just good business, right? Which we're going to teach you how to do. But bigger than that is, for me, I pay for convenience. Like, if I know I can go somewhere and it's like, man, you mean to tell me you could do this, you could do this, you could do this? Like, it's convenient to know that we can grow with you, right? And that's why we did it, right? Is it good business? Of course, right? Like, if your coach is not a good business person, they shouldn't be your coach. But bigger than that, it gives you the confidence to know that I don't have to start piecing it together. Like, once I get to this level, like, damn, George and Carter got me to this point, but like who can help me get to the next point, right? So that's our mastermind tier. And then last but not least, which you won't hear much about this unless because it's invite only, and you'll hear more about it as you get to that level. As Carter said earlier, when a student's ready, the teacher will appear. But it is available, right, as an invite only opportunity, and it's called our mogul tier, right? Because once you get to this stage, well, here's what's happened, right? You got the team, you got the time, you got the time. You spend most of your time thinking, being a leader, managing your team, right? But ultimately, the truth of the matter is now your business is your biggest asset, right? That is your biggest asset. And you have extra money. Like, I was investing. I did what y'all told me to do in the mastermind level. I started the solo 401k. I invested in IRAs. But I still got to put this money somewhere. I got more problems, right? I have more money. I need to buy the building. I need to buy the short-term rent. I like now it's just like you are searching for every place.
Now you're having the same problems that we are having, right? What I love about the mogul tier is like we go from like being your coaches to like being your thinking partners, because now we're on the same level. You have the same problems that we're having, and we're all talking about it, and we're working through these things in real time, which is like, again, what a true mastermind and a true thinking relationship is supposed to go. You have things that you know, we have things that we know. You have problems, we have problems. We come together as a group, and that's why it's invite only, because like you're now our colleagues, our friends, and we're just solving problems together. Like last night, I was at a mastermind with all my friends, and we're all multi-7-figure earners, and we just sat in a room for 3 hours last night talking about problems and how each person can solve them. And I walked away with things that's going to help me make an extra hundreds of thousands of dollars this year, just because of conversations with people on the same level as you. So I'm really excited about that level, because we turn people from mentees to colleagues, right? Which I think is super dope.
Big facts, right? Because it's like, yeah, we have a stage, right? Virtual, in person, all that kind of stuff. But at that level, it's like, oh, like we need to share the stage, right? You obviously are an expert in what you do. We are just experts in the areas of, tax planning and wealth building, which everybody's going to always need. But we're going to have real estate experts, right? Who like, I was looking for that property. Can you get me connected with your guy? Like, so it becomes a peer ecosystem where everybody's helping everybody, right? So you go from starting to growing to scaling to now looking at your business as an asset and how can I exit that asset right now. Here's the beautiful thing about that methodology is that even if you don't plan to sell your business, you should build it as if you want to. Because if you build your business as if you could sell it or you want to sell it, what does that mean? That means you have to have the right leadership in place, the right infrastructure in place that it can work without you, right? On the mastermind level, you're still like, even though you have team and you're scaling, like you're still in that business, right? The goal of the mogul tier is you own that business as an asset, right? Like you are an owner. Like the title is founder and CEO. You're like 90% founder at this point, right? Because you have the systems, you have the people, you have the processes in place that your business can run without you. Because if it can't, you are just a highly compensated self-employed person. And that's a pill that I had to swallow a few years ago when I started to think about how to build a business. I'm like, well, damn, I mean, like, yeah, I'm making good money, but if I leave, this ain't gonna keep running, right? So you think about succession planning, right? Like buy-sell agreements, right? What happens to the business if I want to sell, if I'm no longer here? That's when you start thinking about those types of things, right? Organizational structure, retaining top talent, right? Executive compensation, all of those things, right? Things that none of us signed up for, myself included. I signed up to be the highest paid person, have a few people that are like, yo, can you do this for me? Do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's happy. That's what I signed up for, right? Carter as well. But then you grow and you realize if you want to build an enterprise level company or you want to make big dog money, you got to build a big dog company. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't run what got you here ain't gonna get you there. You can't run the business, the multi 7-figure, 8-figure business the same way you ran the multi 6-figure business. It just can't happen, right? You got to become a different version of yourself. You got to have a different level of talent on your team, or your team has to evolve with you the same way that you're evolving. And you have to have the right structure and organizational leadership in place. So that is what we do at a high level. We didn't get into all the nuances inside the Melanin Millionaires Club. So whether you join us or not, we'll put the link in the show notes to learn a little bit more about it. But whether you decide to join us or not, or any of that resonated with you, what we want you to understand is these are stages that everybody's going to have to go through if you desire to build a business that you can ultimately exit one day. You have to start, you have to grow, you have to scale, and then you have to exit, right? So my question to you is one thing, what stage are you in? My second question to you is, can we help you get to your next one, right? So hopefully this episode was helpful because people ask us all the time, like, well, what do you like? What exactly? How can I work with y'all, Carter? You still doing taxes, bro? Like, George, can you manage my money? This ecosystem is the best way, the most valuable and impactful way that we can serve you. We didn't even get into like the nuances of like the value proposition per se, but if you want to learn more about that, you've been wondering like, hey, I have been wanting to invest. I have been wanting to figure out how to like really improve my high income skill set. I do have a tax problem, or I'm want to learn about how I can prepare to not have a tax problem. All those things. This is the best way to figure that out. So we created a very quick form for you to fill out because we want to make sure that not just that you're the right fit for us, but we're the right fit for you as well. And we can just make sure that it makes sense. And from there, we would love to be a resource to you.
Yep, and the link will be in the show notes. We'll make sure the link is in the show notes for you all to fill out that application to see if you want to work with us. But this is the only way you can work with us, right? It's just the way. It's the only way. Like I shut down people working individually, me and my firm. George shut down people working individually in his firm. We have our firms as the back end of our service offering. So if you need your taxes done, if you need the financial planner, we still have that, but you have to be a part of our ecosystem to work with us in this way. So what we'll make sure the link is in the show notes to see if you want to work with us, if you can, and then hopefully we'll be able to help you this year and the years to come.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So make sure y'all tune in to the next episode, like, subscribe, and share this one, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.